Hello. If you're wondering why this side of the screen is blurred, that's because there's an ad there, and I'm not giving these people free advertising. Anyways, today we're gonna learn how to make Smash Brawl model swaps. So what you're gonna do is you wanna go to this website. I'll leave it in the link description, but you should all probably know what this is. We're gonna need to download a model first. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make Squidward over Snake as an example. So I'm gonna use this model here. This model of Squiggle Garg. I'm gonna download it. Alright, now what we wanna do is we wanna extract that. There's only one texture here, so it shouldn't be too difficult. Also, let me give you a little tip. You might want to convert your files to obj if you're able to, because usually if they're DAE or FBX, it's a lot harder to do. So sometimes your model will come out looking like this. Alright, now what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna wanna open your programs. I do have all of them in the Steam library, but I'm just gonna Autodesk FBX Converter 2013. I'll fix that because that one's a pretty hard one to find. Blender. This one I do not need to link because this is relatively easy. And I'm not gonna open them through Steam, so I'm just gonna BrawlCrate. I'll leave a link to this one in the description, but this one's a bit easier to find. And WeScrubber. I don't remember where I got this from, so you're on your own with that one. Now you're gonna want to load in your Smash ISO, something I cannot legally link. But I'm gonna do this one. By the way, this is like I probably put this in the title, but this is a dolphin only tutorial. I don't know how to mod the Wii, because I don't own a Wii. And we're gonna want to take a character. So the character in question here is Snake. We want to extract that, and we're gonna BrawlCrate. Check out the model real quick, stuff like that. Yeah, that's Snake. So this isn't required, but I do like to just check the textures real quick. Also, there's a little Easter egg on this. I forgot about that. But let me check if my frequency is picking up. Okay, yeah, it is. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna want to export this, and we're gonna save it as a DAE. Now we want to go to here, and we want this to be exported to an FBX. This has to be an FBX if you want your model swap to work. This isn't required. I'm just doing this real quick. Oh wait, never mind. It's not gonna let me change this to the obj. Hold on. I don't know if this is gonna work like that. By the way, all right, now you want to go into Blender. You want to delete these. Import FBX. So here we have Snake. I'm gonna turn texture viewer on just to make sure Squidward's gonna work fine. Import obj. By the way, you want to make sure this is on like a pretty lesser version. Where? Oh wait, it must have saved in there. Squidward. Okay, Squidward. Fine. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna have to take a shot in the dark here. Wait, never mind. I can. We want to import that. Okay, yeah, that doesn't work. Okay, don't do that then. Then it doesn't work. I'm gonna have to carefully take Squidward out of his. Okay. By the way, if your character has more than one texture, then try to separate it by material. How you do? I'm not gonna show you how to do it, but just go into edit mode, selecting mesh, edit mode, and separate by material. Let me go into pose mode real quick, just so I can. Never mind. Let me get Squidward's eyes like unshot real quick. We don't want his eyes to be shot while making this. Hold on. Okay, what you want to do is you want to grab this, you want to select that, and then Control P. Armature deform with empty group. Wait, no, wrong one. Alt P. Clear and keep transformation. There we go. I'm a little rusty right now, so. I'm just gonna cut this part, but if you're wondering, I'm just cutting this eyelid off. Alright, now that the most annoying process of my entire life is finished, we can scale them down. Wait, no. Go to modifier properties, and you want to delete his modifier. Let me also make sure he's not attached to any bones real quick. It's another pretty important part. Actually, hold on. Well, I can just down real quick. He's a little short, so I'm gonna. You only really have to do this if the character doesn't fit your proportions perfectly. But I'm just doing this mod to be more so funny than serious, so I'm just gonna scale him up. Let me move this real quick, see how this looks. Yeah, that actually looks pretty good. I'm gonna size his head down because holy crap. Oh, his head went. Alright, there we go. I was probably cut that part out too. Alright, now what you want to do is you want to select armature and select both. Control P. Armature deform with empty groups. And also you can just remove all of the snake parts now. These aren't really needed. He has a lot of face groups. Alright. I never realized how much he looks like a Fortnite skin right now. Now that you've done that, now it's time to assign bones. You want to go into edit mode and then viewport shading? I think this was called. No, you want to go into wireframe mode. Okay, yeah, Squidward's bones are gone. And I'm gonna select Squidward's head. I'm gonna select him by the head. Oh, see, I accidentally did too much there. I'm gonna select this a little bit for right now. I'm gonna assign that to, where's his head bone? There it is. I'm gonna assign it to head N. You assign your head to. Now, some characters do not have this bone. The two of those specific characters being Sonic and Pikachu, while they do have heads, they don't actually necessarily have a head bone. So just assign the head to the neck. Kirby and Jigglypuff obviously don't, because they don't have heads. Right? His head is assigned, but let me fix this real quick. Assign that to his neck. Alright, see, now we have his neck assigned. By the way, assign your neck to neck N. Alright, now let's do the arms. This right here, I think, is considered as the left arm, if I'm correct, for Smash Modding, so we're just gonna do this arm. You wanna select it, and then you wanna assign this part to L shoulder J. I don't know what L shoulder N does, so just don't assign it to that. Grab his arm part, and then select it to L arm J. Select the hand, and select it to L hand N. Do the same for the other arm, but for R arm. That sounded weird, but you get what I'm saying. Assign. Right. Now let's do the legs. I'm gonna do R leg real quick, but you can do whatever. Oh yeah, let me move these up because that's not. There we go. I'm just making this look a little better real quick. You know, again, you don't have to manipulate the mesh if you don't want to. I'm just doing it so this looks less disturbing. Or not disturbing, but less disgusting looking. And also so it'll fit the bones better. Again, you should only have to do this if like the bones don't fit. See, there we go. Now we're good. Where are his leg bones? Okay, there we go. Normally these are on top, but for some reason they're not. I'm gonna send this to R leg J. R knee J. And normally you're supposed to grab like this part right here and assign that to R toe N. But because Squidward has like 4 legs, we're just not gonna do that. Just like that. you have one leg down. Let's do the other one, shall we? I don't remember what I was saying this to. Hold on. Okay. The same process, but for the other leg. L leg J. L knee J. And if you do something where you have to unselect a different bone, just click deselect. L foot J. Okay. Now for the torso. Select this. Select the legs. And you want to assign this part to hip N. Now you want to grab this part. Make sure that's not on hip N. And you want to put that on body N. Now select the rest of this. Make sure. Actually, wait a minute. No, you're not supposed to put that on body N. Hold on. There should be one called waist. I just don't know where it is though. Hold on. Does snake not have a waist bone? Hold up a minute. I don't think snake has a waist bone. Okay, well, normally I would, but because I don't see one anywhere around here, just don't connect this to. Do not connect this to body N, but you're supposed to connect it to waist. But I don't know where waist went. Yeah, snake just doesn't have a waist bone. Okay, let me see something real quick. I think that's how you do it. Hold on. Articles. What about bones? Can I look at his bones? No. Okay, that's weird. Oh wait, that's not even attached. Okay, I don't know. I don't know. Honestly. I've never modded with snake before, so I'm just gonna. And then normally I would put like this upper part like that over bust end, but again, I don't see any indication of waist. I'm gonna have to ask like some people who know more modding about than me about that in a second, because I thought Snake did, but he just doesn't. Alright. Oh, by the way, another certain tutorial will tell you that bust and waist are basically the same bone. They aren't. They are not basically the same bone. Bust makes the curve a lot more smooth. Waist is just like the actual waist. Now, if you got all that, you wanna weight paint all, not weight paint. You wanna normalize all of the buttons you just did. So weights, normalize all, and just do that for all of them. So this is shaping up to be a longer tutorial than I thought it would have been. Wow. Did I even do the other arm? I think I did. If I didn't, though, I'm gonna have to come back and do that. I'm gonna have to come back anyways. You'll see what I mean by I'm gonna have to come back anyways in a second. Because I will also be teaching you more things, like how to do final smash eyes and like UI stuff like that, so you can make like a complete model swap. Alright, take a look at your model. Looking good. Squiddy looking good, boss. Squiddy looking good. Export FBX. You always have to export this as an FBX. Now you wanna turn this back into a DAE, or else weird things are gonna happen to the model. I'll put up what happens on screen, and the person who showed that. Alright, I'm gonna add Squidward's texture. You can delete the unused textures if you want, but I don't usually, unless like very specific situations. Now we gotta preview the animations to make sure the undesirable doesn't happen. Should probably censor that over there so people can't just like look up my friends' usernames in Steam and try to spam them. Alright, his animations are looking normal. Now you're probably wondering, well, how do I make his eyes go yellow when he does his final smash? Well, I do know how to make that happen. Let me show you. You want to copy this, paste it. Make sure you keep Blender open, or at least have like the blend file saved. Right? Do not close out a Blender when you're making a model swap until you make sure the model swap works. It's a pretty rookie mistake I've made before. Can ruin your entire mod, so yeah. Just don't. Oh, I didn't realize that I was hollow. I better fix that. Sorry if I'm taking a minute, by the way. I accidentally made one of his eyes hollow, so I'm just fixing that up. Alright, there we go. Alright. You want to take this. I'm just going to make this easier for myself by doing this. And you want to slightly move it forward. Make sure a lot of that residue is gone. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to... I keep stuttering. You're going to want to edit his texture. So this is Squidward's eye, for example. I'm going to make that yellow. At least I think that's his eye. I'm going to have to check. Yeah, okay, yeah, that was his eye. I had to make sure. Alright. Unmaturity form with empty groups. Weight paint. Alright. You're gonna want to export this as an FBX again. Just the same process with. Oh yeah, by the way, make sure add leaf bones is off. I don't know what happens if it's not, but just make sure because some of the tutorial where I learned from said. So yeah, just don't. All right. Now you're gonna want to import the eye texture, the yellow eye texture, and then we're gonna make this visible to eye yellow M, and this visible to top N. So now this eye only shows up when you get the final smash. Let's add this to parent and then delete that because that will stop your good old player model from moving. All right, now you're probably asking, hey, how do you make your character turn metal when he gets the metal box? I actually don't know. That's something you're gonna have to ask people in Game Banana because I legitimately don't know. Just check out the animations again, just to double check. You know, make sure his eye. Okay, Squidward's eye's still kind of screwed, but it's okay. It's actually kind of hard to tell. Trying to get one where he's looking to the side. Alright, yeah, we're good. I was just making sure. But yeah, his animations work. All that. Alright, now we want to save this. I'm gonna save this as a pack and PCS. Make sure you save them as like a different file name, just in case your model just crashes the game. You want to make sure these are. Alright, now you want to replace them. Go back to Rescrubber and do that. Alright, also on like the same tutorial, I will actually be showing this in game because that tutorial isn't very effective. Because again, he never actually shows it in game. I will do that after I show you how to make UI though. Alright, now that we have a model swap, we need to do a UI. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go to Pokemon again, and we need two different things for UI. Cell character and common 5. Now we wanna go to BrawlCrate again. We wanna open this. Go to cell character. Alright, find Snake. He should be down here somewhere since he's a newcomer. Oh yeah, also I made all the textures look like that. So if you're wondering why they're all cursed, that's why. I didn't do Pokemon Trainer though. His would be way too hard. I don't think Snake is down here. Oh, no, mind, no, he is. We're gonna export this. PNG. Alright, now you can use whatever photo editing software you like. I don't care which one you use personally. Grab your image. there. Alright. I'm gonna save this. Now we're gonna make sure this is the same type, recommended. Channel cancel. Wait, the colors are too high. Hold on. Colors are way too high. Alright. Now we do it. And we save. Now I want to open. I'm going to open Common 5. Go back down to Snake. Do the same exact thing. Alright. Now you want to go to Waste Scrubber. And you want to put those two back. The reason you want to do two is because it'll crash the game if you don't. That's the reason why you gotta do those two files specifically. Alright. Now you want to load up Smash. So, alright. I'm gonna test this out. Where is this Snake? And make sure I put this over the right skin. Make sure all that. He works. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab the final Smash. Let me see if his eyes work now. They should. Sorry if I'm not catching the Smash Ball. I'm not good with Snake. Yeah, okay. Can't really tell. Yeah, his eyes are blue, and just like that, yellow, just like that. Squidward has a gun. If that's how you give Squidward a gun, kids. I usually just like to screw around with my mods for a bit, see how they look. Test out their victory animations, stuff like that. I'm gonna go test out Squidward's victory animation real quick. Okay. Test it out. I know there's a better way, just getting straight to the victory screen, but I'm not doing that way. Because this way right here has perfect cut potential. I only use that way if I'm unlocking characters. Right, and he works. Let me see how big he is compared to SpongeBob. But yeah, I'll link like the tools you need in the description, or at least the ones you can't easily find. Let me test this real quick, because I'm pretty sure Squidward should be taller if I'm correct. Yeah. That is how you make a Smash mod. A Smash model swap. See you next time.